up? It's Jan back at it again with another nerdy bookish video. This is gonna be a little bit different, where I do the how much I realistically read in a day and a little bit more. Today is Tuesday, which means tomorrow is Wednesday.
Yesterday was Thursday, today is Friday.
Which is my day off. I'm gonna insert the Rebecca Black clip. I've been wanting to do this well, okay. Sorry, I was supposed to leave for work like 5 minutes ago, so I'm like I almost said flabbergasted. I'm like flustered. So people have been asking me to make a video talking about how I read so much and with a 9 to 5 and blah, 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 all the things I do. And I'm just like, I feel conceited if I make that like sit down video, you know, and just be like,
this is how I do the things I do.
So I decided I'm gonna do it the vlog style way, where I just go about my day and tell you guys how much I read realistically on a work day. And then we're gonna do the little segment of like actual tips, I guess, of what I just implement in my daily routine to get as much reading done and how I prioritize reading. And
you're not gonna like it.
I don't recommend any of these tips.
You're not gonna like it. You're gonna hate your life.
Yeah, I really don't recommend anything I say. Take everything with a grain of salt, because I am just
insane.
Speaking of insane, I get up at the ass crack of dawn, okay? But not really, because today was like 5:40.
That's the ass crack of dawn.
The dawn's ass was already cracked by the time I got up. I immediately start reading as soon as I open my eyes, basically. I started reading on my Kindle, and I'm reading American Rapture. It's an arc for CJ Leeds' new book, but I did not feel like holding a device, so I read like 2% of that. I'm like 40% into that book, and I was like, I don't want to feel like I'm holding my phone, you know? So I'm like, let me start a new physical book, because the only other physical book that I wanted to read from my current reads is The Poppy War, and I didn't feel like listening to an audiobook at 5:40 in the morning. So I picked up Ling Hun. Don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I'm so sorry. But this is a translated work. I'm supposed to leave for work. And I looked it up, and the title means spirit or soul. So there's that. This is a horror novella. I think there are a couple short stories in here about this creepy house. I really don't know. I've just been seeing it around Bookstagram and like horror tube. I picked it up from the library and I got 38 pages into it this morning. And then I was like, I need to edit my April wrap up because it is May 14th. It needs to go up. So I started rough editing that, which means like taking out all the ums and the negative, like the dead noise. What the fuck is it called? Whatever, the silence parts of my video, so then I could listen to an audiobook whilst doing so. So I started the Traveling Cat Chronicles because I'm trying to read as many Asian authors as possible this month because it's AAPI Heritage Month. So I started the Traveling Cat Chronicles. It's such a wholesome book. I got 25% in, so that's fun. So hopefully gonna finish that today on my commute to work, because I do listen to audiobooks at work. That's another way I read throughout the day. And then also, I don't have the most demanding job in the world, okay? I do social media, content creation, content coordination for a local library, so it's really like I'm able to listen to audiobooks at work as well. I read on my lunch break, etc., etc. But I will take y'all along. I gotta go though. So I'm gonna bring this book and my Kindle to work with me, and we'll talk later because I gotta go. Bye! Pardon the interruption. I just want to take a moment to thank the sponsor of this video, which is Teddy Blake. If you missed the video of me showing this bag off, I don't remember which vlog it was, but they sent me this months ago. I love it so much. I don't remember the name of the bag. It's like Croc, Red Croc something, but it's a fairly huge tote bag, which I wanted to use for like my coffee shop productive sessions, you know, so it could fit my laptop, my books, my camera, chargers, phone, wallet, everything. And it's luxury leather for way cheaper than retail prices. I'll have my affiliate link and code down below, but you can get $30 off. My code will be down below. Here it is on the screen for you as well. They are having a Memorial Day sale for up to 70% off. It is such high quality, y'all. Like, they have the short straps so you can carry it like a regular purse, and then they have the long strap that you can attach to it. Here, let me just lower y'all down so you can see. Really, I've had this bag for months and it still smells like quality leather. And then the inside, I just actually went to a coffee shop with Joey, so I was using this. This is how it looks on the inside. It has two sections where you can put stuff. I have my books and book sleeves in there, my camera, tripod, and then there's a zipper section in the middle, and inside it's like this soft suede material. Honestly perfect. Can't ask for a better bag, and thank you so much to Teddy Blake for sponsoring this video once again and working with me. I love mine, and it's so stylish too. It goes with this like black and white and like neutral, you know, outfit. It's just like a pop of color. It's great. I love her. She is one of my prized possessions. So yeah, I'm gonna go charge my camera. Back to regularly scheduled programming. Okay, I just got to work. I was listening to the Traveling Cat Chronicles the entire way here, and I'm now 41% through. Sorry, I can't even hold the camera. It's a really quick read. There's grief, there's parental grief in this, so trigger warnings for that. There is a perspective from a cat, so that's fun, and he has a little British accent. It's super cute. I will say, I kind of hate that they keep saying stroking the cat instead of like petting the cat, and I know it's an American thing to not say stroke in that context because I said it in the Discord, in my Patreon Discord, and a couple of my UK vampies informed me that we're the weird ones who just need to get our minds out of the gutter. I'm probably going to update once I finish the book because I have the office to myself today. For my 15-minute break. Alright everyone, we are at, you can't really tell, we are at the best place on earth, Barnes & Noble. I decided to go during my lunch break instead of after. Sorry, I'm eating Jimmy John's. I like brought it all with me. Anyway, I decided to go now instead of after work because I have too much to do. Joey and I booked a trip for out of town for Memorial Day weekend, so I had to move a lot of things around and now I'm stressed. So tonight the goals are to upload a video, my April wrap-up, go to the gym and do some cardio and reading. I'll probably read on my Kindle. And then I also want to finish Ling Hun. It's only 171 pages. It's doable. And I don't have work tomorrow, so I can stay up. Traveling Cat Chronicles, I am like 80% in now. And not gonna lie, I like the first half a lot more than the second half. I'm getting a little bit bored, and we're following different parts of our main character's life. So it's getting kind of confusing as to like who he's interacting with, what age they are, things like that. The only way I get a grip on it is when it talks about like the past when his parents died and like the cat that they had back then. I'm even lost as to like when the cat is talking versus not, unless I really pay attention. I don't know. All right, I gotta go because I am on crunch time. Listen, I just cried. I need to fix my bangs, first of all. I just finished the Traveling Cat Chronicles. The ending was so heart-wrenching. It hit home. A little bit triggering for very specific reasons. Oh my god, speaking of a cat. Oh my god, look at him. Look at this floof. I wish I weren't allergic, to be honest with you. Hello! Anyway, I am gonna give it 4 stars, I think. If it weren't for that very sad ending, it probably would have been a 3, just because like the middle kind of lost me. Is it gonna start like pouring rain? I swear to god. I gotta make this quick. I finished it on my way home. I listened to a little bit at work as well. Like I was saying, it kind of lost me in the middle. It talked a lot about like who's gonna take care of the cat, and I don't know, I was just not interested, but also I was like distracted at work. But when I listened to it in the car, I was hooked. for the most part. Maybe it's on me. Either way, it gets a good rating. So 4 stars, book 1 of this blog. I immediately jumped into The Age of Magical Overthinking, which I do have a physical copy of as well. Thank you, Ty, one of my patrons, for sending me a replacement copy, because that was another one that was stolen along with Joey's car. It's only a 6-hour audiobook, but I listened to like 5 minutes of it and I was like, yeah, I need to annotate. So I'm gonna try to finish that in this vlog as well. So the story of Barnes & Noble. So it took me like 15 minutes just to find the Honey Witch. I was expecting like a whole display. I guess I thought it was a bigger release than it is. I really want to try to squeeze this in this month. I know there's pregnancy and miscarriages. I don't want to read that, but I'm ignoring all of that because the cover is so pretty. Speaking of the cover, I have this coffin covers challenge thing on Patreon. It's like an exclusive monthly challenge. It's basically inspired by Buzzwordathon. Thank you, Kayla. But it's like I pick a word that you find in the covers of the books instead of the titles, and it's Patreon only because like I'd feel too copycat if I do it for the public. Plus it's just like a fun little extra challenge that the vampies can do, and this would be perfect for it because there are flowers everywhere, and flower is the challenge for this month. But I got not the other book I wanted to read. There is a funny story-ish about that one, but I got Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead. This has been on my wish list for like a year now. All I know is, well, one of my vampies, Megan, said the anxiety rep is really good, but from the back, all I know is this woman is obsessed and hyperfixates on the concept of death, which I do all the time because as I get older with a chronic illness, I have rheumatoid arthritis if you are new here, I think about death a lot more than I used to, so I felt like this would be super relatable. There were no copies on Pango or anything, so I was like, okay, let's just do it, and it was half off. I was trying to find My Darling Dreadful Thing by Joanna Van Veen, and I thought I had an e-arc of it, but I don't. But now I do, because I was searching for it. I actually talked to a human to help me look for it. Their one copy was just like misplaced or something because it wasn't in any of the shelves that it could have been at. She had like multiple employees trying to look for this book, couldn't find it. I was on my lunch break, so I was like, I'm sorry, I gotta go, it's okay. And then as soon as I leave, I get an email that said, hey early reader, and it was to celebrate the release of My Darling Dreadful Thing, which is a sapphic horror, gothic horror thing. It came out today as well. And I was like, I didn't get an e-arc or a physical arc, but I would love one. And then so they sent me a NetGalley arc. So I'm gonna read that instead of a physical copy, and that's totally fine with me because I love the cover. I love, 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 love the cover. The cover is so me. It's just not something that I think I'm gonna need to annotate really. Like, I'm not gonna die. The world's not gonna end if I read a digital copy. It'll be fine. Those are all the updates. I'm gonna go home and do what I plan to do, hopefully. Hello! Well, first of all, can we acknowledge my sweatshirt? I have no idea where I got it from. I blacked out, went feral, bought a couple things off of Etsy, and I didn't look at the shop. Like, I couldn't tell you. I mean, I guess I could look at my email, but I don't feel like it right now. I just searched, I cry a lot, but I'm so productive. But it's embroidered, and then it says it's an art on the sleeve, and I'm obsessed, and it fits so nicely, it's so soft. I just got back from the coffee shop. I got there at like 6 right when they opened. I left the house at like 5:30. I was there for like 3 hours. I was editing and it's now 9:30. I also read a little bit more of Ling Hun. I literally have like 9 pages left, but I wanted to edit before my laptop died and then I realized there was an outlet under me. But I will be finishing this very soon. I just thought I would talk about the tips now that we have a sit down moment. It's a new day. I'm gonna be ending this as soon as I finish this. I mean, I'm still gonna try to read The Age of Magical Overthinking, but I also want to start my next vlog because it's my next Do Your Worst episode. But in terms of this, I stayed up until like 1 last night. Okay, I fell asleep on the couch. It's okay. I think it's gonna sit at like a 3-star. There were some unsettling moments, but it wasn't like super creepy. I mean, it was kind of creepy reading it at night, not gonna lie. I also went to the gym at 9 p.m. last night because I just needed to clear my head, and I read this on the elliptical because all the treadmills were being used. And then the 2 short stories at the end, I kind of just checked out. It's about grief, really, and I'm kind of getting tired of grief horror. I just keep accidentally picking them up. I think I just need a break from them for a little bit. I like how some of them are done, and I probably would like this too if I didn't read so many in the past like few months / year. Yeah, it's essentially grief horror, and there are like these spirits and family members who have died, and yeah. Now that it's a new day, I want to talk about some tips, I guess, because this is what some of y'all asked for, and I just want to get it done, get her up there, and not think about it anymore. But okay, so whenever people ask me, seriously, Jan, like, how do you do it? How do you read so much with a 9 to 5, with a long-term relationship, editing and posting on Instagram every day, Patreon, and kind of having a social life, but not really? The answers are, number one thing I tell people is the fact that I read multiple books at a time. I believe there are scientific studies that say you read more if you read multiple books at a time. And I know a lot of you say like, oh, my brain can't handle that, like blah, blah, blah. And I promise you, I think it can. I think you're underestimating your brain. I mean, I'm excessive about it. Like, I do like 10 to 15 at a time. Usually, lately it's been under control, so that's pretty wild. Usually it's like 10. Usually it's in the double digits. And my tips for that are keep the genres different, or if it's within the same genre, keep it like different cultures. Let's say you're reading multiple fantasies, keep it like way different worlds, way different types of characters, like different enough where it's distinguishable and your brain doesn't mix it up. Usually I try to keep the genres varied as much as possible, or the formats even, a physical book as well as an audiobook, or a novel as well as a graphic novel, or a manga. Like, just switch up the formats, and one, you'll always have something you're in the mood for. I'm not the type of reader who just stops reading if I'm not in the mood for the book I'm reading at the moment. I just switch books, and I don't even have to think about starting a new book and choosing a new book because I already have so many other options that I can just be like, okay, I'm close to finishing this one and I'm kind of in the mood for that genre or that story, and I'll just jump back into it. You know what I mean? This is not me saying I remember everything I fucking read. I don't. I completely forget most books as soon as I close them, as soon as I log them onto Goodreads and update my bullet journal. It's hard for me to even like search my archive for the main character's name. I go by how the books made me feel, my final rating, and then like key plot points that were memorable. I mean, if I don't remember anything at all, then if it was on me, then that's me being distracted, but typically it's because the book wasn't rememberable. The book wasn't memorable in the slightest, or it was just like one of my books to get to the next book or to add to my Goodreads goal. Things like that, you know what I mean? Which is not the type of reading that I recommend. I mean, read for fun. Obviously, this is not a competition. I'm in competition with myself at all times. I should have started with that. I'm sorry. Obviously, all formats and all types of books are valid, and they do count as reading, so try that. I also bring a book everywhere I go, whether it's on my phone, which I barely do. The only times I read on my phone are if I'm like in line somewhere and it's a really long line, or like I'm in a waiting room for like the doctor's appointment, or like somewhere where like it would feel too weird to whip out a Kindle or a physical book, you know? But yeah, I bring my Kindle everywhere, or just a book in general, everywhere, because you'll never know when you'll have like 10 minutes of downtime even, and you could squeeze in a couple pages. Car rides, I am one of those readers who is able to read in the car, not for too long. I do need to take breaks, but that helps, especially on like road trips and stuff and longer drives, because Joey is usually the driver. That's another thing. These are like my top 3 tips, okay? Another key thing is having a partner who supports your reading habits, your reading routine. Joey knows I have set reading goals, and he knows that it keeps me sane to keep them and to stay on top of them, and he knows I want to be reading at any given time, any given free moment of my time. And he respects that, and he reads with me or plays video games while I read. He understands that I like stay up late, get up early to read, do my, readathons every month. Having that support just goes such a long way, because I have dated people who don't get it, who just simply do not get it. They don't realize how much books mean to me, and how much reading and getting books read means to me, and how it's like literally my whole life, even my day job, So yeah, that's another thing I always tell people, is having Joey there helps. Having him be a reader also helps. Another thing that helps is getting up early. I know some people hate it, and some people are just like, yeah, that I can't do. I'm just gonna scratch this plan altogether. But no, I literally get up between 5 and 6 a.m. 5 and 6:30 a.m. every day before work, before my 9 to 5. So I get that like couple hours of uninterrupted reading time. Not that Joey always interrupts me, you know what I mean? But like, he's asleep, I can just focus. Not a lot of people are awake to distract me on my phone. I could use my Forest app, and I just have that time in the morning. And I usually try to get my 100 pages in right in the morning, because that's another thing. I have a 100-page goal for every single day, and I've been doing that since literally like 2021, so like 3 years now, and I can count the number of times I didn't meet it. There have definitely been only like a handful of times, less than a handful of times, where I've read 0 pages because of my first tip of having multiple books. But in terms of the 100 pages, it's usually if it's like a really busy day or a really bad mental health day, I don't meet it. So having that set solid goal of 100 pages a day really helps me get through books. Obviously, different formats helps me finish more books, like audiobooks. I have a 30 to 45 minute commute to work every day, back and forth. That's a lot of audiobook time. And then my job isn't that demanding mentally or physically, as I said earlier in the video, so that helps. I can pop in an audiobook usually. And my coworker who shares an office with me also listens to audiobooks pretty much exclusively. So she gets it, and she sometimes pops in her headphones too, so we just have, company in silence type thing. Keeping track of all my goals really motivates me, like having things to check off. Annotating helps me read and stay engaged and actually enjoy what I'm reading. Not always, but I do annotate every book that I own. Snacks and coffee always helps me read and focus for some reason, I don't know. And then just like having this bookish community to do sprints with, to talk in my Patreon Discord or Patreon in general, and just obviously these videos keep me motivated. I think that's pretty much it. This is a long ass clip. Those are pretty much all my secrets. I mean, I own a ton of books, so I always have access to new books, and I work at a library. I also have the Libby app and the Hoopla app to have access to my library, ebooks and audiobooks. Yeah, literally I just spend every second of my free time just trying to read. I read before bed, I read during my lunch break at work. Like I said, it's crazy. It's not practical, but y'all wanted answers, so I'm delivering. So I'm gonna finish this book, give y'all my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this vlog so I can film some Patreon things. Okay, hopefully y'all can hear me with this mic, but I just finished Ling Hun. Ooh, the wind. Yeah, I'm gonna give it 3 stars. The last story was pretty cool because we got kind of a POV from death, so I kind of love that. The second to last story, I was like Delulu at midnight, so I'm not even sure what I actually read, to be honest with you. We're just gonna let it go. We're gonna move past it. We're going to end this vlog. I read 2 books in this vlog. When did I start this? Like 5 a.m. yesterday? Yeah, so a little over 24 hours. I also read a lot of short books too when I need the momentum. So there's another tip for you. Especially when I read chunky books, I always have short books in between, and then I try to do like 100 pages at a time of said chunky book, if that makes sense. Like right now I'm reading The Poppy War at the same time as all these other shorter books. Okay, it's getting a little loud though, and people are coming out of the building. So I'm gonna end the vlog here. If you made it to the end of this video, let's put a cat emoji for the Traveling Cat Chronicles. any cat emoji in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you had a vampy day. Don't forget to do some self-care, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!